What's up YouTube, this is Climax Pokemon and welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to do a recap of the 2021. It's been a very fascinating, interesting year, and I'm just gonna touch upon a few things that I find pretty interesting and pretty significant to this channel and even to this hobby. And to just really recap, give you my thoughts, and to really analyze the process in hindsight. So I'm assuming this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, so do chill, do listen and relax. So 2021 started off with a big hype, and that hype has to do with Shining Fates. Yes, I've actually have a script right here because this is so much to talk about. Yeah, so we started out with Shining Fates, and Shining Fates is pretty much following the Japanese Shining Star V release, which was very popular at the end of the 2020. So in February 2021, when Shining Fates was released, it was really sought after, but the supply of the English set was just simply too large, and a bunch of the more significant cards like the Marnie full art was simply not included in the set. And the hype simply just died down very quickly. And that was the time when I kind of saw the crack in English Pokemon cards. I mean, Champion's Path was an example. Champion's Path was an example that, ooh, I'm just gonna mute something. So yeah, Champion's Path was the example in which things were really hyped up before release. There was a lot of scalping going on. And so when it was time to release Shining Fates, I kind of had that feeling it's gonna be the same. So, for me, I actually did not hold on to many stock of these sort of stuff. But yeah, Shining Fates, it's gonna be in limbo there. It will always be shadowed by Hidden Fates, and yeah, that's that. The second thing was Battle Style. So Battle Style was a very hyped up set because I don't even know why. People were just very excited about alternative arts, or they were just simply very excited because of a new type of rapid strike, single strike mechanism. In the competitive world, it was quite popular because it was a new way of playing the game. But again, for the English release, I just simply don't understand why it would be so popular, because the Japanese set, the rapid strike and single strike boxes, were mediocre. It wasn't super popular. It wasn't super sought after. So when Battle Style was released, I just did not see the potential in that. In hindsight, when we look at it now with the many different waves coming on, we see that Battle Style is one of the worst performing sets out of what we've been releasing in 2021. So yeah, that was quite significant, and a lot of people did lose a lot of money on Battle Style, thinking that Wave 2 or Wave 3 would not hit or will just disappear, but it just kind of came all at the same time. Number 3, PSA. So I think in March 2021, PSA has pretty much stopped all the grading except for the most premium services. And I think this was quite a significant event because it gave rise to many different new grading companies. While PSA is expanding, hiring, these sort of stuff, the volume of PSA cards that is going to be graded and coming back to the market will be huge. So that is something that I've talked about previously. But at the same time, I also think that it gave rise to many different new grading companies, and that these new grading companies most likely will not survive the test of time. Many of them has been announced but never carried on. For example, I think Gary had a stake in one of them, and then basically I think it was announced in like the Collector Con or something like that, but it was never realized. There's also had been many other ones. I think the only one that has been realized was Ace Gaming, but all the other ones are pretty much in limbo, or we just don't know when it's going to be released. There was also a time back then, I actually thought about creating a grading company of my own. And then I kind of put that project on hold simply because I couldn't see through the market. It was very murky, and it just seems to me that it's more of a hype than a demand, a solid demand for it. So yeah, that didn't happen. So maybe in the future, when things settle down a little bit, when I can better gauge the market, we can try that again. Because the overhead costs for starting a grading company The manufacturing bits is not that difficult, but the IT, the system, the looking up of the cards, these would be a lot more complicated to implement. So yeah, I'm gonna put that project aside. Next, number 4 is Eevee Hero. So Eevee Hero was a very crazy set. This was supposed to be released, I think, somewhere around March, April, in Japan. Now, I want to once again apologize for what happened with Eevee Hero. So during Chinese RV, during all the other sets, I was able to pretty much get all my allocation, as much as I need and as much as I want. So for the Eevee Hero, I actually did not tell many of you guys, but I've actually ordered 200 cases, which is around 2,400 boxes. I did a pre-sale for around 1,000 boxes, thinking that, hey, even if there's an allocation, if I ordered 2,400, if they cut me by half, I would still be able to fulfill that 1,000 box order. Apparently, that didn't happen. So, a huge refund had to be go back and stuff. So that was really hectic and that was really crazy. But thank you all for being patient. Thank you all for, staying here with me. But yeah, Eevee Hero really sparked the Japanese market. It really sparked how, actually Shining Star V sparked the Japanese market. Eevee Hero just, added fuel to it pretty much. And then we see a lot of Western countries such as Europe, US. We see more and more people trying to access cards directly from Japan. And it kind of disrupted the supply chain a lot because it wasn't about distribution price. It wasn't about honoring the long-term business relationship. It was all about money. Who pays more? Who bid more? So that's what happens. And I think that in 2022 it would take some time before that kind of relationship is reestablished or refixed. And I just feel like because of this, the Pokemon community just simply lost a lot of trust, which is not that good of a thing, but I think trust eventually can be earned. But that's the reality of capitalism. That's the reality of what money can do. Yeah. All right. So but that rise in Japanese leads us to the 5th thing, the waifu tax, or the waifu boom. The waifu boom started, actually, the waifu has always been very popular in Japan. But, with this 2021 and the waifu boom, what happened was it became super popular. And, almost every waifu, you have to add another 0 to it, or 2 zeros to it in terms of yen. And it was just crazy. That boom actually led up to a lot of Japanese promo cards to be hyped up as well. Any of the Japanese Poncho Pikachu sets or any Pikachu promo, was just really hyped up. And is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Well, it actually misled a lot of investors. It actually created a investment mistake for myself as well. This is that some promo cards are actually not worth that much, but everyone was saying, oh my god, it's going to go up. And sometimes you just get back into that mentality thinking that, oh man, am I going to miss out? So a good example will be the Illustrator Charizard, the Kanazawa Pikachu, as well as that Nuboka, the white background line Pikachu. People were hyping it up and people were saying, oh my god, it's a must get, Illustrator Charizard. Beautiful artwork, blah blah. Yeah, I actually made a video saying it's beautiful artwork too, so I'm guilty of that. And for me, I bought like 100 copies of that Charizard, thinking that, hey, that might be a good investment. Turns out, not really. Well, not in the short run. Most likely in the 5-10 years later, maybe it will, but not anytime soon. I could have spent that money better onto other things, but yeah, so that's why for the Nabuya Pikachu, I didn't actually buy any. I bought like 2 copies just for collecting. Because I simply think that Japanese promo card is overly hyped and it's overrated at this point. Simply because many people are just hoarding onto it, thinking that they can flip them. And if you think scalping is bad or was bad in the US, you should see Japan. So that's that. What else? 2021, number 6, we have Celebration. So Celebration was a really, really hyped up set. You know, people were saying that, are we gonna get reprints? Are we gonna get the Neo Genesis reprint or any sort of Gold Star? You know, and you know, Pokemon actually did quite a good job into reprinting, adding a 25th logo, but reprinting the actual old card. And I think that is a very good move, and that is a very, very significant nostalgic a collection, a nostalgic set for people to collect. But again, you know, there are simply the demand for many of these Pokemon cards are simply not as high as what we have anticipated. And in my previous video, I did say that by December, we'll understand, you know, what is the organic demand of Pokemon card versus the investor hype. You know, because, you know, in the market, you always have to have investor, you have to have collector, you have to have players. It's an intricate balance of these things. When there is an imbalance, Pokemon Company may mistaken the demand for investing or whatever, and they treat it as, you know, organic demand. And because of this, you know, we're bound to see a crash in the market. And I think Celebration is a good example. It was printed, pretty much it's still printing, and it's printed to the ground. And like I said, I think in an earlier video, I did expect Celebration to be printed to the ground. And, you know, because we learned this from where? We learned this from Shining Fates. We learned this from Celebration. Not Celebration, Generation. We just simply know that there is going to be a lot of these products. And if they can print Hidden Fates again in 2021, it doesn't, I mean, I could only imagine if Celebration is very, very sought after, Pokemon will print it in 2022, 2023. So, you know, I just never saw Celebration moving up in price anytime soon, unless it's like 10 years later. So, you know, Celebration did not come as a surprise for me. What did come as a surprise for me is that VMAX Climax, being such a good set, and, you know, people are still not buying into it. I mean, if people were paying a lot of money for, you know, Fusion Art, which is a Japanese version, or the 25th anniversary set, you know, I was surprised that people were not paying as much for VMAX Climax. And I believe that has to do with the mentality. The demand for this set is high, but people are just simply not hoarding it, they're not trying to scalp it, and that's the reason why this set is not moving up in price. And they also believe that, you know, the Japanese Pokemon Center is going to continue to print this set. And I think that, you know, we see a lot of resistance. I've been observing the single character rare cards for a long time. You know, for example, the Charizard character rare. I've seen it, you know, it just doesn't go past that 1,000 yen mark. It's always staying at that 900-ish yen. At that 900 yen, people buy it. Over 1,000 yen, no one buys it. So I think that the market is being very, very careful and very, very cautious into things that they invest, they buy, and sell. So that's that. Now, VMAX Climax overall, it's still doing quite well in comparison to Tag Team All-Star when it was first released. So I think that in the long run, I think this set will do quite well, so I would definitely hold on to this set. Now, coming back to the last thing here on the list is, are we coming back to normal? Are we going back to normal in 2022? And I think that a lot of the booster box are now available from many distributors, and you could simply just go and, you know, call them up. Hey, you know, I want 2 or 3 or 5 cases of Evolving Skies. You know, they have them available at distribution price. And I think that what we're going to see is we're going to see more of these sets being more available. And, you know, there is unlikely to be any shortage of booster boxes. So even with things such as Brilliant Star, what I expect is that wave will come, and people will be much more cautious for pre-order. And I think that this is where the opportunity comes in. When the pre-order quantity starts to decrease from distributors, these are the sets that are likely to be very, very sought after in the future, because, you know, people just think that, oh my God, this is not worth anything, you know, these sort of stuff. But there's also one thing I learned about returning back to normal. People still buy out of fear. People still sell out of fear. And because of this, there's a lot of sets that doesn't actually make sense. For example, Evolving Skies is such a good set. There are many single cards are over $80, and yet it is selling between 100 and 120 per booster box. So, that to me already does not make sense. So what I believe would happen is that Evolving Skies is going to be another Cosmic Eclipse. It is eventually going to be very, very sought after, and price will go up, and then people are going to, say, oh my God, why did I not buy it earlier? These kind of things. So history repeats itself. That's just human nature. And I think that while this hobby is growing, it is not growing as fast as we thought, because there are people that come and go, but generally speaking, the people who stay had increased, but it's not as much as what we have thought. So that's pretty much a 2021 wrap up or recap into the more significant things that happened on this channel, in this hobby, or what I thought was relatively interesting. What we're gonna see is Japanese sets. The pre-order price is likely to go down, and I think that it will return to normal very, very soon, most likely as early as February or March of 2022. Guys are gonna see Japanese box pre-ordering for $60 or even a little $67, around that price range. English booster box pre-ordering for $100, maybe $110, something along that line. We're gonna see much more of that. Well, so 2021 is definitely a fun year. I want to thank you all for staying with this channel, for supporting me, for supporting this channel. We had a lot of great fun together opening things on live, and we are a small channel, but we're definitely growing. We're growing very, very slowly, but we've made some good friends, new friends, and it was fun hanging out with you guys. There will be more to come, and I think in 2022, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a more variety, like a greater variety of content, such as like vlog here and there and things like that. We're also going to explore more different types of card game, because I feel like even though I've made another channel, I just simply don't have time to manage to. So most likely this will be like 80-90% Pokemon, but I will also include other content as well. And basically we'll try to include more people in this community and start to grow slowly but certainly. I mean, I've been on YouTube for 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, something ridiculously long. And this year has been very, very fruitful because of all of you. Thank you, and I'll see you all in 2022. Bye-bye. See you guys later. See you. Peace.